What is up? Back here with another YouTube video, and in case you cannot tell by the title below, this video will be my personal top 5 favorite wrestlers, superstars, sports entertainers to watch within WWE currently. Would love to know who is on your list down in the comments below. It could be from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Level Up if you watch that. And yeah, would love to know down in the comments below. Number 5 on my list is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion at 666 days in Gunther, and he is one of those guys where, like, I might not watch WWE programming on a week-to-week basis, but if, in this case on Raw, I know that he's going to do an in-ring promo or is having a match, I'm gonna watch the ever-living sugar honey iced tea out of it, which, again, all of these guys, I could say the same thing, and he is one of those guys where if I showed a photo of him to family members that aren't a wrestling fan, they would be like, yeah, he's a wrestler kind of deal, or at least they could see him as a wrestler, and I mean that in a good way, and all of that stuff. And plus, I believe that he could legitimately kick anybody's butt that looked at him the wrong way, and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, he is my 5th favorite wrestler in WWE right now. Number 4 might be a little bit of a Canadian bias, and that is the generic one, Sami Zayn. And he is one of those guys that once he went to NXT full time back in 2013, I'm like, yes. And this was NXT when it was the beginning stages of developmental, get to see him wrestle, all of that stuff for a solid, what, like 10-15 minutes every month. That was more than what El Generico was getting in ROH, but seeing him grow professionally is from then to now super cool. And he, again, might be a little bit of a Canadian bias, but one of those guys where it's like, he could sell me a ticket into the building by his promos or his matches. I was really tempted to go to that Montreal show once it was him and Chad Gable in the main event, and all of that stuff. And Montreal is not necessarily the closest city to where I am, and plus it was the main event of a 3-hour Raw kind of deal. But yeah, Sami Zayn, 4th favorite right now. My 3rd favorite, I just realized, is the only one not on Raw, and that is Carmelo Hayes. And this has more so to do with his time in NXT and a little bit called up officially to the main roster. It hasn't been the most amount of time from the draft to now, but he is one of those guys where I remember putting out a tweet back in the summer, I think it was like September, October of, I think it was 2023, saying like, hey, Carmelo Hayes could be a top guy, and seeing him have matches on the main roster with some pretty big names and holding his own, that definitely makes me believe that much more, and kind of seeing him grow from NXT to where he's at now, super cool. Like, I didn't watch him on the independents. I wish I would have, though, not gonna lie. But yeah, he is my 3rd favorite WWE superstar right now. My 2nd favorite wrestler in WWE right now, for a long while, for well over a decade, was my favorite up until when he got hurt relatively recently, and that is, as you can tell, Seth friggin' Rollins. Like I said, from his NXT debut back in 2012 up until really a little bit earlier in the year, he was like my guy. Like, my family members, immediate family members, don't watch wrestling, and they know that Seth Rollins is my guy. And again, they don't give a rat's behind about the sport. But yeah, when it comes to Seth Rollins, he's really good in the ring, really good on the mic, and no matter what, like, I would tune into whatever he was doing, whether it was a 2-3 minute promo in the ring or a 20-30 minute main event instant classic kind of deal. And if it weren't for the injuries, he would probably be number 1. And honestly, it's kind of like 1A 1B with him and who is number 1. And speaking of number one, Drew Bloody McIntyre. He is, again, one of those guys that I liked going back from my very first time I seen SmackDown in person, like the TV tapings. And that was back in September of 2009. And up until nowadays, and especially since probably around the summer time, he just kicked it in another gear. You could argue as far back as WrestleMania 39 and the build up to that kind of deal, but especially in the last, like 8-9 months, he's kicked it to another gear. He's made Raw watchable for myself personally and whatnot, and again, might be biased because I kind of sort of met him, but yeah, McIntyre is easily my favorite wrestler within WWE right. So those are my top 5 favorite WWE wrestlers right now. Would love to know who are your favorites down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notification. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. More importantly than doing any of that, hope you guys are doing okay mentally, emotionally, and physically.
The world that we tend to make up is nothing but a fantasy until you wake up. I feel like I'm just lying to myself, yeah. Cause I just crossed the line like I'm playing offside. I do it how I want and I'ma do it till I die. Feel like I'm just lying to myself, but it's